Again.
We are back. Okay.
You know what? Let's just embrace saying it.
Let's just embrace it. Because that's what it is. Like,
Yep.
literally, we're doing that. So we just maybe will vary how we deliver it so it doesn't sound like a broken record kind of situation.
Yeah, and probably no one else is noticing it except us. But
just
it's
us.
Fine. It's fine.
That's our Virgo.
Yes. But... So this session, I'm really, really excited.
Yes, Melissa.
Yes,
I'm back too. Yeah, right? Let's just all say it. Like,
yep.
I'm back. Yeah. Anyway.
So for this session, we're going to be joined by a special guest who I'm really, really excited to chat with. Dr. James Ellis. He's a psychologist and he is the loneliness doctor. Mm-hmm. So I started seeing content from Dr. Ellis like pop up on our feed, and I was like, I love what he's doing, and I love the conversation, and I love the framing of loneliness and really talking about it. So I'm super excited that he's going to be able to join us today, because loneliness is a big part of divorce, as you know, people know that have gone through it. It's a huge part of the experience for multiple reasons. That Ellis, he's the loneliness doctor. He is a licensed clinical psychologist, and he's a leading voice on the impact of loneliness and the importance of human connection.
Yeah. And in this session, he's going to help us understand why divorce can feel so isolating, even beyond some of the obvious reasons, and what loneliness is actually doing to us, because it does have really significant effects on our health and our wellness overall. Until, between now and when he joins us, we love that you're dropping. You already know the routine. Like, we want to know where you are. We want to know where you are in your journey. And we're just so glad that you're back. I saw Rob. I think Rob popped in there, and all of our friends. And if you're coming back again for another session because you just finished the other, we love you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for supporting us and for spending part of your Saturday with us. We're always so tickled to hear where people are coming from, and where where people are in their journey. And give me one second, I'm just trying to get our friend in. Sometimes we have these technical.
I know.
Here we go.
But also feel free, just before he joins, talk about what loneliness has meant for you in this journey, because I know Hillary and I, we told a little bit about our story, when we kicked off, about having each other. We have been colleagues and friends for a long time before our divorces actually happened, but we thankfully didn't feel as lonely as this experience is, because a lot of times, a lot of people in your social circle, they don't know anything about divorce, and they don't even know what to say or how to respond. And you're outside of social circles that you and your partner used to be a part of. And so all of those things start contributing to loneliness. But thankfully, Hillary and I had each other, which is why we decided to start Sincerely Divorced, so that everyone could have someone, even if they were virtual, even if they were on the other side of our DMs, that you knew that you didn't have to feel isolated in this experience. Because honestly, there's no factual reason for people to be isolated. Given the fact that 50% of marriages and long-term relationships end in divorce, there are people going through it, but we just don't have some kind of signifier, some sort of big D on our head or something,
right,
that says this is what's happening. So yeah, loneliness is one of the things that has to be addressed in this work.
And while we're still getting him into the live, can you check the DMs?
Yes.
Just see. I think the other big thing about divorce specifically, because of course that's the lens that we're viewing loneliness through in this session and also through our platform, is that it's not just the spouse or the partner that you lose, right? There could be all these other layers of loss. It could be, family members, friends, mutual friends that were a part of your married life. And so it's not just loneliness from a spouse, it's loneliness from, losing, an entire support system in some cases. So there's just so many facets to it. And so many, ways that people experience it. And it's just, it's a real part of not only divorce, but also part of just, life as we know it. And it's just it can feel very isolating. And again, this is why we do what we do, and why we want to create this community and this place where you can at least feel like, if you're not, even if you're not physically with someone, that there is somebody on the other end of the connection that, can see, can be validated, and can be, you know understood. So, and again, like, if you have any questions that you want us to ask Dr. Ellis, please feel free to drop them in the chat, or if you have any comments on your own experience with loneliness and kind of how you've overcome it. I think some of the best advice and the best, experiences that we have, been privy to, are ones that we see in the comments and ones that we see in the chat. So, we learned so much from all of you.
I think we just figured it out. So
Okay.
it'll just take a second.
Okay. Yeah.
God love technology. Okay, so we're just gonna wave at everyone again. If you have not dropped where you're coming from, or what you are experiencing right now, I don't know how or why I'm following this account. Green comment. It's because it's a great community.
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't know how or why? Like, I just am glad that you joined the live, because
Yeah.
not only are you following it, but you actually had to click this to be able to join.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I love that. Like, I hope that we're convincing you that you made the right choice.
Exactly, because we're fun. I mean, so we coined a new phrase in the last session, which
Yeah.
is "come for the meme, stay for the support."
Yeah.
So, yay! We are so glad to see you,
Yeah.
Dr. Ellis.
Thank you so much for joining us on this Saturday.
Hi, my apologies. I was trying to connect with you over on Google Meet, and I had no idea why it wasn't connecting, but here we
Oh,
are.
no worries.
It's okay,
Yeah.
friend. No judgment.
Yes, no
Thank
worries at
you.
all. Like, we're all here. We were just talking about all the pieces, all the ways that you could be lonely through divorce. So we were
Hmm.
just ramping up the conversation, getting
Yeah,
everybody.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
let's launch right in now that I'm here.
exactly.
Yeah. So we kind of gave an overview of your amazing work that you're doing, and I kind of fangirled you a little bit, because I was like, I started seeing all his posts and his reels on our feed, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, we have to
I
collab
mean,
with him.
look, she tracked you down. I'm
I
just gonna
did.
say, like, as her bestie, she was like, "Oh, I'm reaching out. I'm reaching out to the loneliness factor." I was like, "Go ahead, do it."
Yeah.
And she did it. She was determined.
Yes.
Thank
So
you.
I'm just really excited for this conversation.
I'm so glad you did. I'm glad to be here too.
Yay. Okay. So let's start off. I'm going to ask like a pretty basic question, but why does divorce feel so lonely sometimes? And that's even when you have people around you.
Well, let's just think about what loneliness is. The experience of loneliness, which often we experience as kind of like a pang of loneliness. That's how I
Mhm.
describe it. Similar to a pang of hunger, is
Hmm.
a cue inside of your body letting you know that something's wrong. And we
Right.
were evolutionarily hardwired to have this signal. It really benefited us in our survival to experience loneliness. So when it's operating at a time of loss, it's actually a feature, not a flaw. It's supposed to be
Mhm.
doing that. We're supposed to uh, feel or have our nervous system get activated when a major relationship has ended, or when someone passes away, or when we're socially isolated. Because, quite frankly, up until very recently on the continuum of human existence, we wouldn't survive a winter unless we had someone.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's so true.
Right.
And
So this is why, we couple up in the first place.
yeah, it is literally to be in community and want to. I mean, we're social creatures, right?
Yes.
And another thing that we talked about before you joined us is just, all the ways, like, you lose a spouse, but you can also lose more than that. Like, you lose your friends, your routine, your sense of family, and even your identity, which,
Yes.
we talk about a lot on our platform. But what do you think that those kinds of losses do to our experience of loneliness? Do you think they heighten it?
Yeah.
Do you think
Oh, yeah, of course.
yeah,
I mean, that's just the most devastating part, is that, you're not just losing one relationship, and then a really important relationship at that. You're losing an ecosystem of belonging.
yes,
And often what I see in my work, is that it tends to be held by one person. It's rarely a 50-50 exchange of holding that whole ecosystem of belonging. Typically, not stereotypically, I guess we should say, it's often the woman who is holding the ecosystem of belonging, and the man kind of, enjoys that, but she's creating the full spectrum of continuity with the extended family, with the social world, with the children, with their world. We also see that reversed as well. It just seems to be less frequent. But that, of course, heightens the sense of loss, of loneliness. And it's often why, people ask, why are men lonelier after divorce? And that's what I see, is they have just lost what was held by the woman in the relationship. And the other thing I did want to speak to is that generally today in Western societies, our spouses are our primary attachment figures. We have dated long enough for them to become our best friend, for honestly to provide what a whole village used to.
Yeah.
They're often acting as our best friend, as our trusted advisor, as our sibling that lives far away and we can't
Yeah.
have access to, as our intellectual sparring partner.
Yeah.
And then we eroticize the relationship on top of that. So
Yeah.
they are really now our world. And so it's so tough to lose any relationship, and loneliness is a feature of that. But in divorce, we're losing usually our primary attachment figure, and then the whole ecosystem of belonging. So it really packs quite a punch to loneliness.
Yeah, and I feel like that could be a whole rabbit hole of a conversation about how and why we've evolved into kind of these maybe not evident or not like blatant expectations, but these expectations that this spouse serve in this role for us. Like we've
Yes,
kind of
yes,
gotten away from this, creating this village around us because of, just globalization in general, and like the fact that we can be virtual for most jobs or many jobs now, and there's just so much moving around. It
yes.
takes time to build a village, it takes time to build a community. And so it makes sense that it would be a lot to it's a lot to expect of a partner.
Yeah.
But it's just the world that we live in now. So, but again, that
Yes.
could be a whole other rabbit hole of conversation.
Well, it is. No, because
Which,
yeah, often our
yeah,
romantic relationships are embedded in the modern loneliness epidemic to begin with.
yeah,
So yeah, we're starting from that place. We've often left our hometowns to go off to college where we meet our spouse, or go off to another city to take a job that's really exciting, and that's where we meet our spouse. So they
yeah.
are often existing, or they're created in a place of disconnection and social isolation, and so they become that much more invested. um
Yes.
yeah, there's more to lose.
Yeah. And also too, like if you get divorced and you have kids and then, you're somewhere where your family of origin is not, then you might be stuck in a new place. There's just all these different facets of it that can make it
Yes.
complicated. But if someone is in that situation or in a similar situation, after divorce or during divorce, and they're thinking like, I don't know where I belong anymore. Because we get a lot of DMs like that from people, and I'm
Mhm.
sure you probably get something similar, on your own platform. But where do you tell them to start, and when it comes to finding connection with others again, and how to kind of combat this feeling of loneliness?
Yeah, well, two places. One, some people are privileged enough to have existing relationships that may need a refresh. It's really natural when we meet our romantic partners that we kind of get lost in that world, and our other relationships fade into the periphery, maybe with our coworkers, maybe with our longtime best friends, maybe with our extended family like cousins, aunts, uncles, those types of people. So it's natural for those relationships to change in a romantic relationship and in a marriage. Um, so that's a great place to start,
Hmm.
is to reconnect with existing relationships if you have them. And often what people find is a new source of meaning. It's a new chapter in your relationship with your
Yeah.
sibling, in your relationship with your best friend. It can be a really rewarding time to reconnect, even if, and I encourage people to do that even if it felt like the way the relationship reorganized because of the relationship was awkward and strained. Your relationship, say with your best friend or with your cousin, if the marriage and the romantic relationship affected that negatively, it's a time to try again.
Mhm.
And even if there's hard feelings, it can be a great source of support. Some people, because maybe they're in a new city and they can't leave until their kids are 18, they really have to build a sense of community in a strange place where no one from their past lives. And that's where I think it can be really helpful to follow my friendship formation formula. This is something that I developed mainly because I live in New York City, and it's a very transient place. And the people that I work with, my clientele, have to start from the ground up and build a social life from scratch.
Mhm.
And I think it's really it can be tough and awkward to try to find it by going to a meetup group, by setting the intention to find friends. That's paradoxically one of the worst ways to do it.
Yeah.
It heightens anxiety. It puts a lot of
Yeah.
pressure on and you don't really feel like yourself in those types of environments. So what I always encourage people to do is to find an activity that they love doing, and to do it repeatedly with the same people and engage in whatever that activity is. So for me, I moved to a new town 6 years ago. My closest family is 600 miles away, and I picked up tennis again after living in Manhattan, where there were really no tennis courts, and I didn't play for 15 years. I got back out on the tennis courts, and what was great about that, I didn't set out the intention to meet new friends or to build community, but 6 years later, that is my community. And it's not just on the tennis courts. It started there and having this playing with the same people week after week. And then we started extending the scope beyond that. Hey, should we have all of the tennis people go out for drinks, one night after tennis? And then hours accumulate. You start to introduce your family members, your kids. Where do your kids go to school? Oh, our kids know one another. Let's get the kids together,
Yeah.
and things just develop. And so I always encourage people to find something where there's the element of proximity. So the people that are close to you and that you're gonna be close to them. Consistency. So repeated meetings, like a one-off meetup event is just doomed for failure. Or like some people will say, I'll go to a paint and sip, which are really fun. I've been to them, but they're one-offs, and you're not going to leave with a
Yeah.
friend. But if you go to a painting class that meets for every Monday for 8 weeks, you're going to start talking to people before class. You're going to talk to people as you're cleaning up. You're going to learn their names. You're going to learn where they live, and things are going to start to deepen.
Yeah.
So having consistency, proximity, and shared interest or investment. Those are the three keys to finding an activity that builds community and exposes you to more people who can become friends or maybe even romantic partners.
Yeah. Well, I think that, I mean, you like, thank you for one, putting that so concisely, because I think, sometimes, we think it's like a mystery, right? That you gave us like a really clear sort of formula. We love a good tool.
Yes, we do.
Or formula, or
Me
like
too.
give us a rubric and we're like, yes, this
Yeah.
is great. And I would add, like, shared experience, is one of those like components. I mean, or shared interest, whether it's tennis, right? Like, that's what we have found sort of happening around divorce, is that shared experience, whether we're sitting at a coffee shop or we're sitting at a brewery or whatever, that's enough. And we do it repeatedly in person and in other ways online, and that gives people sort of those moments that you mentioned, the proximity, the consistency, to be in the space with someone who
Yeah.
understands them or gets
Yeah.
them at some level. That's not just a one-off, but like we are committed to a sustained relationship with that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that you two have created that for people who are going through divorce. I think that's incredible. It's so needed.
Thank you. And I also want to say too, like, don't like from my own personal experience, like I found two of my like best friends like on Facebook, like in like a random moms group, like local moms group. Like one of us posted about like our divorce experience, and then like suddenly other people were commenting and then like DMing, and then I just like it was like a blind date almost, like meeting these friends, but like it was something that I'm consistently in this like virtual group. So even if
Yeah.
it's like something is
Mhm.
keeping you from going in person, like there are other ways that you can hopefully create an in-person friend or an in-person connection, but it might start digitally, like in a
Yes.
local Facebook group as well.
Yes. And I like what I like about that is you revealed something vulnerable that's
Mhm.
a real authentic part of your experience that certainly other people can relate to.
Yeah.
And in the sense that not that misery loves company, but that we feel there's a power in connecting in challenging experiences so that we don't have to feel so alone with it. And I
Yeah.
think we crave that. We really, really crave that. That's why we come together around adversity. And
Mhm.
it's tough because the ground is shifting underneath you as a relationship is falling apart and as you go your separate ways. So I think it's such an important thing to model for everyone that you can actually gain community by acknowledging your vulnerability rather than hiding it.
Yes. Oh my gosh, this is why we love you, because we just talk about vulnerable. I mean, I said it on the last one, like vulnerability is a hill I will die on. It's like one of your greatest strengths. It's like
Mm,
being
mhm,
vulnerable and
mhm,
offering that up to somebody else. It's one of the greatest gifts you
mhm,
can give somebody else.
We also love you because of your teapot. Can I just say that?
mhm.
Yes.
Shout out, shout. Do you have it with you?
I do.
Yay! Yes, we
I
love
do.
it. It's like,
I love it
yeah,
too.
it's everything. It's
Yeah.
everything in your videos. It's like a little friend, like a little hug. Like when we see it,
It's a
just
cold hug right now as I just picked it up. It's not warm at all because it's been a couple of hours since
okay.
my tea was brewed. But
But it's okay in our minds. It's warm.
Like you're having
yeah,
tea with a friend, or,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, we
it's
love
just
that. Like you create community, like just in your reels. And I wish that we had more time because we really do also want to delve into like the difference between being alone and lonely. But I think that that's going to be like the phase two. Hopefully, you'll want to talk to us again, and we can have a conversation about that because I feel like there's a lot of conversation around like I don't want to be bothered with anybody. I just like being alone. But alone and loneliness are two different things.
yes.
I mean, if you would like to
and
offer
so are
something,
solitude. I don't like the idea. I'll just say really quickly
yeah,
because it is a thorn in my side
yes, go ahead.
that solid you cannot reframe loneliness, actual social isolation and social dissatisfaction as solitude in order to make yourself feel better.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
actually need to seek connection. Solitude is chosen for other reasons because it's restorative, because our body
yes.
needs a
Mhm.
break, because reflecting can be important, but they are not the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for that clarity. I've been working on a post about it. It's complicated and it's hard for our brains to understand that like that connection piece is what makes the difference like
Yeah.
between like being alone and solitude. Very different things. So, and there's so much science and we just love that you like shared your expertise with us.
Yes.
Will you please tell everyone where they can find you, where they can combat loneliness? I mean, in addition to Sincerely Divorced, there are other ways to combat loneliness and your account is a reminder of how important it is for living a healthy life to combat loneliness.
Yes, you can follow me right here at Loneliness Doctor on Instagram.
Perfect.
Perfect. Well, Dr. Ellis, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for responding to my random DM and like being willing to just like collaborate with us, because like I said, I just really enjoyed this conversation, and hopefully we can do more like this, because I
I
think
would love that. Okay,
it's just
take
great.
care.
Oh, good. Okay, friend. Bye bye.
Bye.
We'll see everybody in another, like, give us 5 minutes. We'll be back with the next session. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.